And welcome back to Mac at the Movies. This week I'm going to be reviewing for you the film Quasi. This film is releasing April 20th, 2023 by Broken Lizard Industries and being distributed by Hulu, and is directed by Kevin Heffernan, who had played the character of Farva from Super Troopers, and he had also directed The Slammin' Salmon. This film stars the Broken Lizard cast with Kevin, Jay, Steve, Paul, and Eric, and a new member to the Broken Lizard cast, Adrian Palicki. So, this film basically just tells a reimagined story of Quasimodo. Same hunchback as you know, with the same goofy face that they're able to make in the movie. And instead of being in a bell tower, he is a torturer. He is like he came up with the idea of the rack, and he's like one of the people that tortures people for the king. But essentially, this follows the story of Quasi and his friend, and just other people in the town that are going about a lottery system to meet with the Pope. The Pope is traveling through Europe, coming through France, and there's a lottery system to meet the Pope and give him your confessions in person. Quasi didn't get a ticket, but his friend was just like, "Why don't want you going without a ticket?" So he gives Quasi a ticket, and he wins. You get this in the preview, so I'm not spoiling anything. There's a fun story that goes along with this, where the king and the Pope are old high school chums or old college buddies, something like that. And I again don't want to give too much away in regards to that storyline, but it's one of those stories of the king wants the Pope dead, the Pope wants the king dead, and Quasi's stuck in the middle. It is definitely a funny flick, and I suggest anyone check it out whenever you can. It's going to be on Hulu, so you don't have to leave your house. You just go put it on, watch it. It's a fun time. Crass humor, as all Broken Lizard films are. And I didn't specify specific characters each cast member plays, because each of the cast members, with the exception of Adrian, with the exception of her, they all play two roles. So I think with the exception of her, unless I overlooked one, but everyone plays two roles. So I don't want to spoil the fun in guessing who's who, because that is fun to watch while you're viewing the film, to see both characters kind of back and forth in play. I saw this in the theater, and I thought it was fantastic. I got exclusive passes to see it at our local art house theater. The Broken Lizard crew was on tour with this one. What did I do with it here? And they were doing an exclusive screening at 7 theaters, and then it gets released on the 20th. So it's still going. Again, I was the Nashville stop of the tour, but it looks like this was played in theaters only at these 7 locations. So somewhere in Boston, somewhere in Chicago, Nashville was at the Belcourt Theater, somewhere in Houston, somewhere in Lincoln, I'm assuming Nebraska. We have San Diego, and then finally Los Angeles on the 19th. But it was just a tour, because they wanted to promote it, get it out there in theaters, so a few people could have the opportunity to see it on the big screen, which is not something that I guess people care about a whole lot anymore. But people like me, other movie fans out there, you want to see it on the big screen. So this was on the big screen. When we got there, you just kind of pick your seats as you go, unless you get there kind of late, and then they have to help you find one. But it was a sold out show. So But when you got to your seat, you had a shirt draped over it, so you get the shirt from the event, from the evening, and with the dates on the back. And I'll put up here a picture, because they did. If you'll even be able to see it, it'll, I'm sure, be really tiny. But the entire Broken Lizard cast was there, the entire ensemble, and they introduced the movie, with the exception of Jay, because he was coming back from Chicago and got a later flight, but he was there for the post-film Q&A, which I wish I would have thrown up my hand, because I had a really good question to ask, but I will save that for a future Q&A. But yeah, a lot of just silly questions during the Q&A. I wish I would have thrown my hand up. I went to go. I went to go throw up my hand at the last question, but they saw somebody off at the other side of the room. So, but maybe there'll be another time in the future. But yeah, a lot of fun it was. Again, they did the introduction, the Q&A, talked about the film, what inspired the film, the look of Quasimodo. Was a character at a record store that used to talk out of the side of his mouth, and it was a character that they used to always sort of comment on for many, many years, even before Super Troopers and all that. So it was kind of neat to hear them talk about that and how this got into actually becoming a film. But yeah, definitely a great movie. I highly suggest checking it out. Again, it's just another quirky, fun telling of the Quasimodo story. And there's a running gag in the film about oysters. So for that, I'm going to rate it 3 out of 5 oysters opposed to stars this go around. So I give this 3 out of 5 oysters. Definitely go check it out. It is a lot of fun. It's one I definitely plan to revisit. Just like I do. I just watched Slammin' Salmon the other day after having seen this, and it was a lot of fun. I forgot about that movie, and so it was nice to revisit that one. And I really want to revisit Club Dread, because that's one I haven't seen in many years. So, yeah. We'll go ahead and get into that another time. But they did mention Super Troopers 3. So if you're waiting on Super Troopers 3, they say that's the next movie in the production. So I can't wait for that one. I really enjoyed the second one. The first one's a classic. But yeah, this is a great movie. If you are eager to see it, I definitely suggest setting it on your Hulu to get going. It's, again, just a quirky, crass comedy. I definitely say check it out, especially if you love any of the other Broken Lizard stuff that they put out. Definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun. Had some laughs. But anyways, thank you for stopping by, checking out the video. Hope everyone out there is doing great, and I will see you next time. Bye.